Hi everyone, StehnZ here. We're going to be solving a murder mystery today in Shadows of Doubt. We're just getting started with a basic sandbox here on extreme difficulty. Should leave everything at default. And once all of these parameters are set, we will have a fresh character and get started with our murder that comes in pretty early in our character's existence. Shortly after I get started, we get a murder to come in at 203 Schuster Place in my town. And at this point, we need to pick up our form so we can begin to solve this. And we're going to head over shortly. Now, once I arrive at a new location where there's been a murder, I like to stop and just kind of interrogate every single person that's walking around, ask them if they've seen anything unusual. Most of the time they haven't, especially with a low social credit score. I'm not sure how much that affects things, but my character is brand new, so we'll just ask everybody who's kind of coming in and out of the building whether or not they've seen anything suspicious. So far, no answers. Nothing comes to mind from this person. Another random resident coming through. Anything from you, sir? Nope. What about you, lady in shorts? Nothing? But now this. We have a strange character right here, and I want everybody to remember this person for later. So let's see if we can talk to this person, ask them if they've seen anything, and they just say nothing. Typical flippant response. But let's make our way up to the murder itself. Nothing from you? Anything from you? Interrogation has not been fruitful so far. Now, the gate is down, which means that the murder is being investigated at this exact moment. So we can't get in there and check things out. So we'll ask a few more questions, and then we come back shortly after that. And wow, look at this. A ritual murder symbol placed on the ground, clipping through the wall, mind you. So here we are, and the door is still open. We'll turn off the light, kind of slip through, see if we can kind of cross this. And sure enough, this neighbor saw me and is now cowering in fear. How could someone enter a crime scene without permission? So what does this person do? Just crouch, as if I'm some kind of dangerous individual. But it's like, I think you should chill out. I'm a PI. I am doing important work for everybody. But then this person strangely comes to the door. I'm under the impression that this person actually lives here and is the roommate of our victim. So anyway, moving on. We're going to knock on the door a few times to make sure that no one's home. Especially if that was the roommate, then we don't have to worry about that at all. No key under the doormat. But we do have a size 8 shoe that we've just picked up here, and that could be relevant later, so let's save that. Now, we get to begin our Marx Brothers routine with the local enforcer, where I turn off the light, get him to turn the light back on, turn off the light, he turns it back on, and I use this to kind of sort of glitch him out or to sort of confuse him to be looking another direction. So now that he's not looking, I'm going to try to slip past the barricade into the crime scene. Oh, one more time. And then we pop the light and we slip in. Ooh, and he saw me come in, of course. So we're going to quick shut the door in his face. He's like, "Is somebody in there?" It's like, "Whoa, who do you think it is?" Okay, so we slip past the corpse and we're going to try to hide in the vent here. This seems to be one of the safest places that we could go, because I'm concerned that that enforcer is going to, of course, break down the door and come after me with everything he's got. So far, he hasn't done it. And now, when I feel that the coast is clear, which should be any moment now, ooh, lightning strikes, the phone rings. Is that the phone from this apartment? We don't know. But what we do know is that we have a victim and a cadaver here on the floor, with a ritual symbol written on the ground in blood. She has entry wound. He or she, I'm not quite sure the gender of this person, has bullet wounds all over them. Killed between 1730 and 1845 on Wednesday. That was today. That's really actually only an hour ago at most. So we have gotten to the scene at an appropriate time. What else can we pull off this corpse? Well, we could take their fingerprint. Well, that's going to be helpful. And just kind of snooping around, see if we can find any extra evidence on the floor here. We have some bullet casings, typical for a pistol murder. Of course, goes without saying. Let's check some of these for fingerprints. Any fingerprints on the wall here? Ooh, a strange message written in blood on the wall. DF paid. Cryptic. But not enough evidence to really determine what that means. Any fingerprints around here? Absolutely. Fingerprint A. That's actually the fingerprint of our victim, who may have made a last grasp at the door while bleeding out. Very unfortunate. But this is why we do what we do. We're here to bring justice into this city. Now, let's get the light on. What do you say? That's really going to help us figure stuff out. Blood has splattered all over this room from the bullet wound. And we now have a fingerprint type P. Could be our victim's roommate/spouse. Or it could be our perpetrator. Could be the enforcers that came in. Sometimes they kind of muddy up the crime scene. So now we have a name of someone, a work rota for a Gabriel Edwards. That could be our victim, or that could be, once again, the roommate. Let's see if we see any extra fingerprints down here. It's unlikely that the murderer would have touched a bunch of the cleaning supplies in here. Doesn't look like they were too concerned with cleaning up this crime scene. But look what we have here. A crumpled piece of paper with an anagram. Typical for ritual murders. That crumpled piece of paper, as you can see here, has all the letters of who will be the perpetrator of this crime. See, the perp is toying with us, and they want to give us a little bit of a advantage to try to find them, because they think they're such a wonderful criminal. So let's leave. We have enough data from here, but check out what we just saw. Wow, a camera looking right at the door? That's going to give us something that we can work with. So, moving on ahead, we get to what's known as the security room for this building, okay? It's locked. It's not a place that they're just going to allow some random PI to get into, but this is what I want to get into. So, no one answered the door when I knocked. I'm going to open it, and sure enough, there's a maintenance person inside the security room who didn't recognize that I just picked the lock and is like re-locked it, basically wasting my couple of lockpicks that I have. Remember, I'm a fresh character. I am dirt poor. So losing these lockpicks right now, kind of a bit of a disadvantage, and that's okay. We're going to mark Kwan's management here because this is an important room that we're going to be using, because due to that camera that we saw, we're going to need to get that recorded. So let's head to the pawn shop. We have a couple things we looted from the victim's house, such as a ring, and we want to get some of that sold so that we can ideally afford a sword. Because at this point, I'm thinking we need a nice long sword in order to take out that maintenance worker and knock them out so that we can properly go through the computer. However, as you just saw, I can't afford the sword. So instead, we're going to spend our money a little bit differently. We'll head back to City Hall right here. We'll visit the little PI vending machine, because we're going to need a code breaker, ideally to get into the safe in the victim's apartment. So I come back to the victim's apartment. Let's make sure nothing weird is happening. There is a strange character standing outside of here. Could this be a friend of the victim? Friend of the family? Mary Hart? They gave us their name. Usually a sign that they aren't suspicious, although that can be misleading. So Mary's here, waiting around, possibly for some other reason. We don't know, but we're going to make a note that, okay, Mary Hart came to the victim's apartment for some reason. Now that we're in, we're going to take a look at this vault. We don't have a password for said vault, so let's go ahead and put our code breaker on the vault and see if we can get in here. I'm hoping there will be some kind of incriminating evidence inside, or maybe some fingerprints, or potentially something of value. If we could, say, find a diamond, we would be in really good shape here. So we've gotten the password out of the code breaker, and we're going to pop inside here and see what they've got. Well, they've got some money, And check this out. Your passcode is 9403. You stored the piece of paper with your passcode inside the safe. So maybe not the most brilliant people we're dealing with here. They like baseball, so we'll take some of their commemorative baseball stuff. Here's an employment contract, which could help give us names. Gabriel Edwards' employment contract, as well as a baseball cap fitted. Could be worth something. Let's take it. Not much to go off in the vault here, but it was worth checking out. So, whoa, on our way out, we see a guy fell down. Back to the pawn shop. Let's sell some of these baseball items. They weren't worth very much, but there was just a little bit of money that hopefully will give us enough to buy that sword. And sure enough, we have it. I'm planning to take that sword back and slash that maintenance person into submission. I would like to steal the money, but of course he sees me. Creepy. So we're going to get out of there. I wanted to grab that pile of cash, but he gave me that evil look. So we're back at the management now. We're going to see whether or not that maintenance worker's still in here. It doesn't look like they are. So we went and bought a sword for nothing, but it's going to be helpful in future cases. So I'm going to pick this lock. We're going to head into here. And now we're going to speed things up a little bit as I do just my normal looting routine. Yada, yada, yada. We're going to kind of look through all this stuff, grab anything of value. Some more lockpicks are all around. We'll lock the door. Anything else of value? Well, let's get into the computer and see if we can get into the management software. We can't, because sure enough, we don't have the password for that. So we'll do a little bit of looting over here. We did find some money that was stashed into this room that we're, of course, not allowed in. Speed things up again. Any more looting? It looks like we had already looked through this before, but you can never be too thorough. We are completely broke, so whatever we can find to sell is going to be good. And then moving on, we head back to the PI vending machine at City Hall because we know we're going to need another code breaker. This time it's going to be used to get into the security computer that we need to get the camera footage. We're also going to grab some handcuffs because we believe that we will be able to find the murderer with this perfectly positioned camera staring at the door of our murder victim's house. So coming back inside, we are going to use our code breaker on the computer itself in order to get this password that we need, which is going to give us access to the security footage. And we've caught it soon enough that the footage that we need should be in there. So let's go ahead and pull up the surveillance and see if we can find the right room, or the right camera, I should say. We want to be on the second floor, and it has to be the exact right door on the second floor. So I scroll around a bit trying to find it, and it's as soon as I get to right around here, check this out. This is definitely the right camera. We remember this scene. You can even see the ritual murder on camera. Now, who's this? This is a strange character. We have a weird bald character who was here right around the time of the murder, I believe. And let's double check that and confirm that things are what we think. The murder took place sometime between 1730 and 1845. And we have this person leaving the room at, what is this, 1828? This is highly suspicious. And look at this person. I mean, they just look sus. They look sus. So let's get this picture printed out. The picture is always a little glitch and shadows it out. You won't be able to see the person on there, but the game knows that they were there. So that arrow has been made, linking that picture to the person from that I printed. Now check it out again. Here they are again. I feel like at this point we just saw our perp a second time. It's the same picture, and I wasn't able to put that all together at this exact moment. Even though I've now seen this person twice, I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe I need more evidence. I like to be very thorough. This probably was enough to take them on. So we're going to look around again. Maybe there's some extra fingerprints around the ritual symbol. it never hurts to go back to the scene of the crime and do another kind of once-over. Make sure that everything is in order here. Any fingerprints on the anagram itself? No, they must have been using a glove or something else to prevent that, because that would be very easy if it was like, oh, look, fingerprints on the anagram. Anything else around our victim? She's still here. Nobody has removed this cadaver yet. DF paid. I'm still confused by, because at this point it seems that our victim's name is, in fact, her initials are DF. So why would she pay other than a assisted suicide? But to be thorough, let's go ahead and look through the phone book and the address book of their friends to see if anybody has a name that's close to that anagram. Didn't see anything, so we sped that up a little bit. We're going to use the telephone to make a phone call to determine what the last caller's identity was, in case that maybe our perpetrator made a phone call to our victim before coming over there to murder them with a pistol. And, of course, no call. So let's leave. Nothing much left to gather from here for our second walkthrough. And look at this. We come into the hallway, and who is it again? A third time we have seen this person wandering around, drinking coffee. There's the link between their picture and the photograph that we pulled from the computer. I feel like we have enough. I don't trust this person. They're not giving me any information. They've been wandering around here since the time of the murder, acting like there was no big deal, feeling pretty brave about what's going on here. And I think we have enough. I am convinced that this is our perp, and I believe that it is time to handcuff them and to find out whether or not that's true. So we're going to grab them here in the stairwell, hoping that nobody notices me committing this crime. We're going to search them, and what do they have on them? Wow, a box of pistol ammunition. Highly suspicious, considering our victim just was killed by a pistol. So I'm going to put that aside as evidence. Let's take their money. I'm taking your money. And I'm also taking your key. Bose Robertson. Great name. Let's continue to search about Bose, and also check this out. The anagram for Bose Robertson, this fits it. If you look at it carefully, those are all the same letters. So, boy, we really have our perp here. You've given us way too much information, Bose. I'm ready to declare you the murderer. So I have began filling out my murder form here. We're going to say that the murder weapon was the pistol ammunition. And check this out. We pull Bose's card, and he's a enforcer captain. And here's his pistol. Right after that, we actually search him again, and he still has a pistol. I keep saying him, but it's actually a non-binary, so this is a they. And now I'm going to go ahead and formally charge them. Yes, you think I'm the only killer in this city? I count that as a confession. So, now that we know Bose, we're going to head over to the government database and kind of plug them into the master computer here. Maybe this is a little cheese in this game, but I believe that this is an effective tool for any PI. So we're going to type Bose into the system, pull their record. This is definitely them. Fingerprint D we never found on the scene, but now we have their home, which is 601 Schuster House, is the same building where our victim was killed. So great, we need that information for our murder form. So let's get that logged in there. We have now their location, and we have the weapon. We have what we believe to be evidence of the pistol ammunition. And let's go ahead and turn this in and see how we did. I'm very confident that we got at this point, I'm very confident that we got the right murderer. They basically confessed. So we submit it, and let's see what the powers that be have to say about our sleuthing that we did here. All right. So zooming in to see all this, we got everything right other than we don't have evidence that places the killer at the crime scene. Picking the ammunition was not enough. And that's okay. I still take this as a big win. We made a lot of money, hopefully. And ideally got some social credit, 250 social credit. Moving on up. 1,700 currency. And that is basically our mystery. So we solved it and won, and I appreciate all of you guys taking a moment to watch this video. Bye-bye.